Partial results from Afghanistan's presidential election were made public on Sunday. The numbers show a tight race between top candidates. Former Foreign Minister Abdullah has a slight lead with 40% so far, while the former Finance Minister Ashraf Ghani holds just over 38%. Election officials warn these results are preliminary and could change. So far, only 10% of the millions of ballots cast in April 5th polls have been counted so far. Well, for more on the elections in Afghanistan and these top two candidates, we're joined live on the set by Faiysal Ali Khan. He's an associate fellow with the Asieh Society. Thank you, sir, for being with us. So are you surprised by the partial results so far that show Abdullah ahead?
Not at all. I think the important thing to remember here is that 10% of the polling stations in 26 provinces, not 10% of the entire vote, which has been quoted a lot. So I think it's still, there's still a lot to be seen. It's too early to say.
So you think in a couple of days even this could change as the results come from different districts?
Absolutely. Even now, if you look at the polling in some of the districts, I mean, there's in Khost, there's 80% Dr. Ghani and 3% Abdullah. In Kandahar, there was 45% Zalmir Rasool, who's in, overall trailing very wide. So I think it's very early to say at this stage.
The fact that this race has been so close, what does that tell us?
I think one thing is for certain is that the two top running candidates, Dr. Abdullah and Dr. Ashraf Ghani, that the polling was also showing, have also come up in this early partial as the two front runners. So, and it's also possible that since 6.5 million votes or somewhere, around that region are still left to be counted, it might even be possible that in a first round, we might have, one person that's a winner.
So tell us about the appeal of these two contenders. Abdullah brings certain traits to the table, and so does Ghani. So what's different? What's the main difference between these top two candidates?
Dr. Ghani is someone who's been a professional. He was in the World Bank. He was the first finance minister. He wasn't there during the time of the jihad. He's had a lot of experience with governance in the country since he's been back. And most recently, he had a consultative process across the country during the Kabul process. So from a governance point of view, he's had more experience. Dr. Abdullah has been there throughout. And was there during the jihad time, so he brings a lot of experience with him. But someone who is, better equipped on the foreign relations side as he sees as his forte. But he has widespread support across the country. So between the two, I think it's a win-win for Afghanistan.
You almost wish you could combine them in one person, and that person would be the perfect candidate for Afghanistan.
Yes, and there have been efforts, to that effect. So we'll see what happens.
But for the people of Afghanistan, for the women, for the youth, for the elderly, when you talk to them, what do they want for their nation? Which candidate do they think would do a better job?
They seem to really want to see themselves as defining as a reborn nation in the eyes of the world, for people to see the new Afghanistan for what it is. 60% of the population is under 25 years old or 30. It's a very young population. There was the largest turnout of women in this particular vote. I think they're very keen to sort of get started on the economy and moving the country forward towards self-sufficiency, and announcing themselves to the world. So security and economy were the two main sort of reasons I think that everyone had in their mind, and it was pretty even between the two candidates.
And whoever becomes the next president of Afghanistan will inherit a host of challenges. Tell us about some of those challenges besides stability and security.
I think one of the major challenges is really is the parallel economy. You have a vibrant parallel economy which can absorb this 400,000 youth which comes out annually, which has a sophisticated, financial sort of mechanisms, market access to capital with the narcotics trade, illicit timber, etc. That's something that really needs to be addressed in order for the state to establish its writ. So more than anything else, I think, it's really the economy which will drive everything. That's what's sustaining even the insurgency. So the economy I would say is the mainstay, and trying to make that transition where there's a stronger domestic economic growth in the country for the prosperity of the citizens of the country.
And do you think the future leader has to work, I don't know how to word this question, but perhaps do they have to find a way to work along with the Taliban?
Those interests, again, I think there was a peace process that was there. I think what would be stronger is, having strong regional and economic ties with the neighbors. Pakistan, Iran, etc., which play a large influence. And yes, I think all those who choose to be part of, this new Afghanistan and support the democratic process should be, incorporated. Those, I believe, who are against the state or the constitution should not be negotiated with.
All right. Thank you so much. Faiysal Ali Khan, he's a Carnegie Fellow, National Security Studies Program, New America Foundation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.